Okay, we're going to go through some problems from the Unit 2, which was on units, ratios, rates, proportions. So number one wooden board is 8 feet long and a second board is 10 feet long. Write the ratio of their lengths in simplest form. Okay, so the ratio is 8 feet to 10 feet. You can write it with a colon or as a fraction or with the word 2. I'll write it as with a colon. But what we have to do is write it in simplest form using whole numbers. So 8 and 10, we can divide both of these by 2. So we get 4 to 5. Because the units are the same, you don't have to write the units. But so 4 feet to 5 feet or just 4 to 5 is good enough. Number 2, Bridgeton is 60 miles away and Sturmville is 80 miles away. What is the ratio of their distances in simplest form? So 60 miles to 80 miles is the ratio at first. We can divide by any common factor, just like you're reducing a fraction. I think 20 goes into both of these. Remember, if you didn't see 20 at first, maybe you see 10 at first, but then you can do it again until you can't do it anymore. But I think 20 will do it all in one shot, because 60 divided by 20 is 3, and 80 divided by 20 is 4. So I'm getting a ratio of 3 to 4. Okay. Number 3. Medic Supply Company sells cases of medical latex gloves for $153 per case. There are 800 pairs of gloves in each case. Williams Supply Company sells boxes of latex gloves for $9.50. Each box has 50 pairs of gloves. So which company has the more economical deal? So one way to do this, and there's more than one way, is we can figure out the unit rate. So for Med-X, we can figure out that it's $153 for 800 pairs of gloves. I'll just write P for pairs. And I just divide 153 by 800 to figure out what it is for each glove, per glove. In other words, I'm making the bottom 1. I'm dividing that by 800 to make it 1, and then I'm dividing 153 by 800, and that's what the price will be for one glove. And I'm going to my calculator, and I get that it is 19125, a little more than 19 cents for one pair of glove. For Williams, so that's Med-X, for Williams, it's $9.50 for 50 pairs of gloves. So again, I divide by 50, and that gives me exactly $19.19, so 19 cents. And so which one is cheaper? The Williams one. Per glove basis, it's cheaper to buy from Williams. Okay. You have a choice of receiving a wage of $34,000 per year, $650 per week, or $18 per hour. Which is the best offer? So we're assuming there's 40 hours in a week. We're assuming there's 52 weeks in a year. Okay. So we could do a unit rate, although we have 3 different units. This is the problem here. We have to convert. It doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to choose to make everything be per week. So $34,000 for 1 year. Remember, that's 52 weeks, right? So $34,000 for 52 weeks. Again, I divide by 52, so I'll figure out what I'm getting for every 1 week. And my calculator tells me that that is $653.85. Okay. This one is $650 per week. It's already for 1 week, so I don't have to do anything to it. And then $18 per hour. So $18 for 1 hour is how much money for, well, 1 week, but remember that's 40 hours. So I solve this proportion. And so I figure out that that is, so 18 times 40 divided by 1, $720 for a week. Okay, so the best one is the third one. All right. 300 milliliters of a drug is given to a patient over 4 hours. Find the unit rate in milliliters per hour. Okay, so 300 milliliters for 4 hours. I'm going to divide by 4, because remember unit rate, you always make the denominator a 1. So for 1 hour, 300 divided by 4 is 75. 75 milliliters. So it's 75 milliliters per hour. All right. A worm moved 3 feet in 20 minutes. What is the unit rate in feet per minute? Same thing. 3 feet to 20 minutes is the rate. I'm going to divide by 20 so that I get a 1 on the bottom. And 3 divided by 20 is 0.15 feet. So it's 0.15 feet per minute is my unit rate. To clean the floors in a lab, a technician mixes 3 tablespoons of disinfectant to every 4 gallons of water. How many tablespoons of disinfectant should be added to 10 gallons of water? All right, so we have a rate, 3 tablespoons to 4 gallons. And we want to know how many tablespoons goes with 10 gallons if you keep the same rate. Okay, so cross multiply. So 3 times 10 is 30, 4 times question mark. So we divide 30 by 4, and we get 7.5 tablespoons. So you would have to add 7.5 tablespoons if you had 10 gallons of water. That will give you the same amount of disinfectant for the water. All right, number 8, solve the proportion. This one is not any kind of word problem, so this is just cross multiply. 12 times 4 is 48. 7 times n is 7. So I divide by 7 times what is 48? So I divide 48 by 7. And I get 6.86. There we go. Jesse walked 3 miles in 40 minutes. If he walked at the same rate, how far can he walk in 90 minutes? So we've got 3 miles to 40 minutes. How many miles in 90 minutes? So once again, we're solving a proportion. 3 times 90 is 270. 40 times question mark. So 40 times what is 270? So we divide 270 by 40. And we get 6.75 miles. That would be miles, right? If miles are up here on the top, then miles are up here on the top here. Notice that in proportions with rates, it's the same, like the thing on top is in the same units and the thing on the bottom is in the same units. That needs to be true. Okay. There are 6.6 grams of carbohydrates in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. How many grams of carbohydrates are there in 10 tablespoons? So once again, 6.6 grams to 2 tablespoons. We want to know how many grams goes with 10 tablespoons. Solve the proportion. 6.6 times 10 is 66. 2 times question mark. So 66 divided by 2. I think that's 33 grams. 33 grams of carbohydrates are in 10 tablespoons. All right, some percent problems. The number 18 is what percent of 80? So 18 is to 80 as what is to 100? Percent always is in reference to out of 100. So 18 out of 80 what out of 100? So once again, we're solving a proportion. 18 times 100 is 1800. 80 times question mark. So divide 1800 divided by 80 is 22.5. And that was, we're asking for percent, so we should indicate that that is a percent. 22.5%. Okay. The number 22 is 25% of what number? So notice the of what number. This is now the unknown. Of 80 up here, right? So it's 22 to question mark. The question mark goes where the 80 went in this problem. And then for the percent side, it's 25%, which means 25 out of 100. So that's the proportion. All right, 22 times 100 is 2200. 25 times question mark. Divide 2200 by 25. I'm getting 88. So yeah, 22 out of 88 is the same as 25 out of 100. That sounds right. Okay, now we have some percent increase, percent decrease problems. The price of a new computer is $875 after an 8% discount. What was the original price? So for these, we always do a new to original ratio. So we want the original. We know the new price is $875. Now in terms of percent, the original is always 100%. 8% discount, so if you took away 8%, that would leave 92%. This 875 is 92% of whatever the original price was. All right, so 875 times 100, 92 times, do not know, so we divide 87,500 divided by 92, and we get 951.09. That was the original price. Okay. The number of alternative fuel vehicles increased during a 4-year period from 277,000 to 352,000. Find the percent increase. So again, we set up a new to original ratio. The original was 277,000. The new is 352,000. In terms of percents, original is always 100. And we would like to know what the new percent is. It's going to be, because it went up, it's going to be more than 100. So let's see. So 352,000 times 100 adds 2 more zeros. So whatever that is, 35,200,000. And over here we have 277,000 times question mark. So we divide this by this, and we get 127. Now we're not done yet, because that's the percent that the new number is. It's 127. The question is not what percent is it, it's what the percent increase is. So if it went from 100% to 127%, the percent increase then is 27%. It went up by 27%. Okay. The bill for a meal at a restaurant comes to $31.60. If you want to include a 20% tip, how much do you pay? All right, new to original. The original price is $31.60. We want to know what the new price is after you include the tip. Always 100 down here. And the new price should be 120%, right? It should be 20% more. So 120. Okay, so we have 100 times question mark. We have 3160 times 120 is 3792. So we divide 3792 by 100. That's $37.92. So that is what you pay. That includes the 20% tip. Convert 1.5 yards to inches. Okay, so first we have to convert yards to feet. By the way, we're going to be using these conversion rates that are given to you on a test. They're things you look up. So let's go back down. Okay, 1.5 yards. So first we're going to convert it to feet. So 1.5 yards, I could write 1.5 yards, right? Is how many feet when I know that 1 yard goes with 3 feet. Again, that's the conversion factor that you can look up if you don't know it. All right, so 3 times 1.5 is 4.5, and 1 times question mark. So 1 times what is 4.5? Obviously 4.5 feet. We could write 4.5 feet. Okay. Convert 20 ounces to pounds. 20 ounces is how many pounds? When we know, and this you look up on the chart, 16 ounces is 1 pound. So yet again another proportion. 20 times 1 is 20. 16 times question mark. So we divide 20 by 16, and we get 1.25. So it's 1.25 pounds. All right. Last problem. A task will take 4 hours and 15 minutes to complete. If 5 people work on the task, how long will each one have to work? So we want to divide this time into 5 equal pieces. We want to divide it by 5. The answer is supposed to be in minutes. So one way to do it is to just convert this time into minutes. So 4 hours is how many minutes? I'll write the proportion down, but of course, I mean, for some of you it may be apparent that what we're going to end up doing is just multiplying 4 by 60, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. In fact, yeah, let me just do that here. So 4 times 60 is 240 minutes. Whoops. Oh, okay, plus the 15 minutes is 255 minutes. That's this time just totally in minutes. So we're going to divide that by 5 people, and we get 51. So each person has to work 51 minutes. Okay, so there's a good collection of problems that you can decide if you know how to do them, if you could do them on a test.